Here's some times where bloopers made the final cut. The most iconic part of Pretty Woman is where Julia Roberts gets her hand stuck in the necklace case. But did you know that wasn't actually in the script, and he shut the case on her fingers? Her laugh was totally Julia Roberts, because she was actually taken by surprise. Whilst filming Friends, David Schwimmer managed to pull off one of the greatest pranks against Jennifer Aniston. He and co-star Cole Sprouse were having an argument, and then they ran up the stairs, only for Jennifer Aniston to then run up chasing them, for them to throw down a fake dummy of David Schwimmer, causing Jennifer Aniston to go absolutely berserk and absolutely terrified that her friend and co-star had just fallen down the stairs, possibly critically. But obviously it was a dummy, and everyone burst into laughter. During Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the actor playing Crabbe actually started to stand up to clap when the Gryffindor won some points. But this was a mistake and he shouldn't have done this. But Malfoy, the actor who plays Malfoy, Tom Felton, had to grab him and pull him down because they weren't supposed to be clapping. And this was so in character, but it was so just not. It was just Tom Felton trying to save the take. Whilst filming Maleficent, they couldn't find a single young person who wasn't afraid of Angelina Jolie whilst in the full costume. So instead they had to cast Angelina Jolie's real life daughter because she just wanted her mum's attention. And so in this scene, that's just her daughter. Joaquin Phoenix is one of the best actors of our time, and he is known for his phenomenal acting ability. But during this scene in The Joker, he wasn't acting. He was actually listening to the Joker soundtrack for the very first time on set. And that single tear that drops from his eye is actually him just reacting to the incredibly emotional piece of music. In Now You See Me, Isla Fisher actually did all of her stunts. And that was including this very stunt where she was submerged in a big tank of water trying to escape. But only thing is, the stunt went wrong, and she was actually trapped in this water, unable to free herself. So her performance of her begging for help isn't her acting, it's genuinely her just wanting help and to get out. It is important to note that nobody was hurt during the filming of this stunt, and she was perfectly okay afterwards, and we were just left with this iconic and amazing performance. During Avengers Infinity War, Tom Holland actually improvised the death scene. This was an incredibly emotional part of the film, and genuinely I think that this was very well performed, and I'm sure he was just very sad about the fact that his character was dying and his future was uncertain as the web slinger. In this awkward scene from Spider-Man Homecoming, Tom Holland actually hugged Robert Downey Jr. whilst he was trying to get the door. This wasn't in the script, and this was Tom Holland just trying to be funny. But Robert Downey Jr. didn't get the hint and was just trying to save the scene and delivered this line.
That's not a hug, I'm just grabbing the door for you. We're not there yet.
When filming the It movie, they kept the child actors well away from the actor who played Pennywise whilst he was in full makeup. And that's because they wanted to see their initial reactions to the makeup on camera. And during the now iconic projector scene, this was their very real reaction to seeing Pennywise for the very first time. Like, none of them were acting, they were all just terrified. After an emotional, energetic battle, Millie Bobby Brown, who plays Eleven in Stranger Things, was absolutely exhausted. And after screaming, she collapsed in the arms of Finn Wolfhard, who plays Mike in the show. And this was totally not acting. You can tell by the fact that Finn Wolfhard actually looks over at the directors, essentially asking for some help because he was worried about his friend who just collapsed into his arms. In The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Steve Carell decided to wax his real chest. And that's when we had some of the most hysterical lines in the entire film, which were just improv because he was actually in a lot of pain. And to be fair, he's a braver man than me. In Fight Club, Brad Pitt actually told Edward Norton to punch him anywhere and to surprise him. And for some reason, Edward Norton decided, I'm going to punch his ear, which was extremely surprising for Brad, and every single line after this was actually improvised and Brad Pitt asking, why did you punch me in the ear? The Rock's comeback was totally improvised in this scene from Fast and Furious 6.
By the ear, man.
I fucked it up.